So New York City, it's always had its own kind of royalty, hasn't it?
Oh,
Not actual kings and queens, obviously, but, the people with the front row seats, the perfect lighting.
And those last names, it just opened doors. Annie Dore, Met Gala, investment firms, you name it.
Exactly. And for decades, that social clout, just being seen, that was kind of the reward in itself.
Right. But what we're really digging into today is how that power evolved. How that New York spotlight, the photos, the gossip columns, the buzz, how that actually got turned into, well, real businesses, empires worth millions.
Yeah, that's the mission. We're tracking this radical transformation from NYC socialites and famous faces just being famous to actually building serious business muscle. How the glitter, you could say, turned into gold. Moving from just being an it girl to being a CEO, shifting actual product worldwide.
It's really a masterclass in modern power, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because we're looking at how fame itself basically became this new scalable currency for business. And the crucial part is understanding the strategy. How these individuals really executed that switch, protecting their own story like it was, IP, intellectual property.
Okay, let's unpack that. We should probably start where it really kicked off. The early 2000s, that old school socialite era.
Ah, yes. The age of velvet ropes.
And Blackberries. Remember those?
Oh, yeah. Being famous for being famous got you into the party, got you to press.
And this is key from what we've seen, just getting your picture taken didn't automatically pay the bills, did it? Not in a sustainable way.
Not really. Success back then often meant, appearance fees, maybe a modeling contract here and there. It wasn't scalable.
Okay.
But what's crucial about that time is it planted the seed. The idea that, okay, maybe this fame could be monetized, but you couldn't just sit back. You needed a strategy. You had to treat your name like an asset.
And the absolute queen of figuring that out early on has to be Paris Hilton.
Undisputed.
She was everywhere on the New York scene, but she took that tabloid fame and didn't just ride the wave. She built this global thing.
Exactly. She didn't just license her name out randomly. She was one of the first to really grasp that her personal visibility could be scaled into actual product lines, things that made way more money than just showing up somewhere.
Like the fragrances you mentioned.
Think about the fragrances. It's not just perfume. It's a physical product. Recurring revenue. It needs manufacturing, global distribution, legal protection. That's infrastructure built directly on celebrity.
But wait, there were others then too, right? Like Kimora Lee Simmons. She took a slightly different route maybe. She wasn't building perfume empires, but she turned her runway past into baby fat. How does that fit?
That's a great example too.
Yeah.
Kimora Lee Simmons saw her visibility, her authority in fashion was directly transferable to a brand identity. Baby fat, it was one of the first big lifestyle brands to really nail that mix of streetwear and luxury.
Yeah, it was huge.
She defined a whole look and aesthetic that spoke directly to her audience. She was essentially packaging and selling an aspirational identity through clothes. Very smart.
And then you also had Ivanka Trump moving from modeling and the Manhattan parties into real estate, launching her own brand. So all three were famous for their social lives, but they each found a way to channel that intense public focus into something concrete, a product line, a brand, a development deal.
What really stands out from that early 2000s period is that it proved monetization was possible.
Okay.
But that model, it was still pretty centralized. You still needed the gatekeepers, right? Major media, the tabloids, that high-level social access. Your image was kind of defined by that.
And that dependency. That's exactly what the next decade just completely blew apart.
Totally.
Fast forward 10 years, maybe a bit less, and boom, social media explodes.
Everything changes.
Suddenly, like you said, the velvet rope is digital.
No.
You didn't need to be born into that NYC royalty anymore. You could actually build fame yourself, not just inherit it.
And the currency just flipped. It wasn't about access anymore. It was about attention.
Yep.
If you could grab and hold millions of eyeballs, even just from your apartment, you had the power. Success became all about cultivating this, consistent, authentic-seeming aesthetic persona that people wanted to buy into, literally.
Danielle Bernstein, we wore what? She feels like the ultimate case study for this digital pivot.
Oh, for sure.
She starts as a street-style blogger, just taking pictures of outfits, and becomes this major fashion entrepreneur, big collections, partnerships.
But the really smart move there, the insight, isn't just the fashion deals. It's how she pivoted from just showing clothes to building B2B infrastructure.
You mean MOE Assist?
Exactly. MOE Assist, a tech startup, a tool for other influencers to manage their business. She took the problem she faced scaling her own influence and built a solution for the whole industry. That's a CEO move, not just an influencer getting brand deals.
That's a huge leap. And then you have Olivia Palermo. She kind of became a brand herself, didn't she? Mixing modeling, media, consulting, building this whole sophisticated lifestyle empire.
She's essentially built a media company around her own life. She understood, crucially, that if you control the platform, your blog, your Instagram, you control the distribution. And that's a massive step towards building real infrastructure.
Okay, this brings us to the absolute core question, I think. I get the influence part, how you build an audience, but where's the line? How do you actually go from influencing people to buy a dress to founding a multi-million-dollar company that actually lasts?
Yeah.
What separates the long-term mogul from the, flash-in-the-pan influencer who just scores some good campaigns for a few years?
Infrastructure. That's the difference. It's that critical leap, moving from just having influence to having a durable business foundation.
Okay, break that down. What does infrastructure really mean here?
Influence is like starting with zero product cost. You post content, you rely on your daily output. Infrastructure, that's hiring people, setting up global fulfillment centers, locking down manufacturing processes, legally protecting your IP.
So it's about building something that can run even if you stop posting constantly.
Precisely. The successful ones realized they needed to sell more than just cool. They needed to sell community maybe, but backed by a real operational structure.
Can you give us the perfect example? Someone who used that influence almost like market research to build the actual infrastructure.
Emily Weiss with Glossier has to be the textbook case.
Right into the gloss.
Started as the Into the Gloss beauty blog, just talking about what real women used, what they liked, what was missing. That comment section, that wasn't just feedback, that was free, real-time R&D. Market sizing on a plate.
So the audience basically told her what products they wanted.
And she listened. She took all that insider knowledge and then she built Glossier, scaled it into a billion-dollar brand. Her influence sparked it. The audience funded the R&D with their data, essentially.
Wow.
And the infrastructure was the global shipping, the manufacturing partners, the legal protection for the product formulas. It's like going from selling tickets to a party you're hosting that's influence to selling the actual blueprint and software for the party venue itself. That's infrastructure.
That's a great analogy. And it wasn't just digital startups making this leap, right? Alexandra O'Neill with Markarian, she started right in that NYC fashion crowd, dressing the right people, getting that social visibility.
Yes, but her scaling wasn't about going viral online in the same way. It was about product excellence and managing production.
Yeah.
She had to back up that initial social buzz with a really reliable, high-quality manufacturing process.
Especially when she started dressing, major figures like the First Lady.
Exactly. That requires serious production capacity, quality control, an internal business structure that can handle that kind of intense demand and media scrutiny. It proves that taking social visibility and marrying it with high-end scalable production is absolutely non-negotiable for longevity.
Okay, so that really defines the line. If the whole business hinges on you personally posting every day, it's probably still influence. If the business runs fulfillment, staff-protected IP, even when you're offline, that's infrastructure.
That is the crucial distinction. And it's essential because, let's face it, attention fades.
Yeah.
Fast. A perfume deal might run for 5 years, maybe 10. But the actual company manufacturing and selling that perfume, that could last for 50 years or more.
So let's look at the current wave then. These NYC entrepreneurs today seem younger, definitely more diverse, totally digitally native. And the social circle, it feels less about just who you know and more about what you build with those connections.
Absolutely. This new generation really gets that you have to combine high-quality products with very specific stated values. Think inclusivity, sustainability. That's the modern formula for turning celebrity into CEO.
Yeah.
The personal brand has to have real substance now, not just look good.
Magritte is such a great example here. Kind of an LA-NYC hybrid, right? Co-founder of Good Americans, Skims with Kim Kardashian.
Her success wasn't just riding celebrity coattails. It was built on identifying and addressing a huge gap in the market products, focused on inclusivity, on size diversity. That's a core value baked right into the business model, into the infrastructure.
Yeah. And look at someone like Tinks. She took this very specific, funny influencer persona.
Very distinct voice.
And built a whole lifestyle brand around it, podcasts, global partnerships. But she did it by essentially turning her voice, her unique take into this rigorously protected, sellable IP. She's not selling clothes, really. She's selling curated opinion, companionship. That's a
Yeah.
powerful, repeatable product.
Very smart. Scalable commentary.
And we keep seeing this pattern, even with the absolute top-tier famous figures. Gigi Hadid with Guest in Residence, Hailey Bieber with Roadskin.
Right. They use their massive, established personal brands that really started, in those high-profile NYC and global circles as the launchpad.
But the difference now is...
The difference is, for this generation, the launch itself is the social event. Their influence basically covers the initial marketing budget. But unlike maybe some early efforts, the foundation now is immediately about a quality product that has to stand on its own, backed by a real supply chain, real infrastructure from day one.
Okay, so wrapping this up, what's the big lesson here for you, the listener, trying to understand how business really works in a place like New York today? For me, it's that the smartest social figures realized their biggest asset wasn't just the fame itself. It was their storytelling power, their ability to build a narrative.
That's it, exactly. They learned how to package that influence like a product, then how to scale it like a tech startup using actual verifiable infrastructure, and crucially, how to protect it like valuable intellectual property.
Because attention is fickle.
Attention is incredibly fickle, it fades. But brand equity, the protected, scaled business identity, that compounds, that grows over time.
So here's a final thought for you to chew on. Next time you see a high-profile person, maybe sipping coffee in Soho, or you scroll past a photo from some big New York event, just remember, every single moment of visibility, every planned outfit, every connection they make, it can all be part of the foundation for a formal business plan now.
You might just be watching the next CEO in stilettos, building the next billion-dollar empire right there in plain sight.